arrival, grand return, peace and blessings to the righteous and repentant alike. I'm Sophia, Tayac of the AmaruKhan Band of Indians, and this is our astroterography for our Aries full moon, which is October 13th, 2024 at 7:27 a.m. Again, this is a cutout of a much longer video, two-part video actually this month, with the Aries full moon lunation, discussing all of these energies, which you can get for free as a participant on our AmaruKhan Lunar Working Group, and the in the bio is the link for you to join that group. It is free, and it is on Telegram, and you'll get the videos every month sent there. So we're gonna go through this as quickly as possible. This is a hunter's moon, so the themes are strength, change, endurance, protection, and transitions. This is a lot of energy for a moon cycle. This is why I had to put on a totally different background. It's just too many. This is our rainbow promise that we had in the sky the other day. Just so people know that we literally did receive a promise in the sky. We received a rainbow again, God would not destroy the earth by flooding. And so anyway, I thought it was important to bring this out in case people hadn't seen it. So our first, hey boo. All right, so our first placement is the ascendant, and that's at 22 degrees of Libra, and that's justice, which is balance, law, harmony, and fairness. Our next placement is Juno at 24 degrees of Libra, and that's the Queen of Swords, which is confidence, willing to learn, and equality. Then we have the Sun at 24 degrees of Libra as well, which is the Four of Swords, which is rest, relaxation, and be patient. Then we have Mercury at 5 degrees of Scorpio, which is the Five of Swords, and that's unwinnable, sneakiness, and defeat. That's followed by Venus at 29 degrees of Scorpio, which is the Seven of Swords, which is our federal agent card, and that's keen mind, intelligence, and security. And that's followed by Pallas Athena, which is at 12 degrees of Sagittarius, and that's the King of Swords, which is intelligence, clever mind, and problem solver. So on this very first row, before we go into the next set of the energies, on the very first row, there's a lot of swords. That means if you don't do anything to change the energy, there's going to be a lot of cuts. The cuts are going to be flying from everywhere. It's not going to be something you have any control over. You're not going to be able to do anything about it. You're literally just going to have to basically grin and bear it, because justice is going to come in and be called, which is basically like calling in the judgment. Not quite the judgment, because justice is when this is a woman comes and calls the justice. You actually have two women, the justice and the Queen of Swords, back to back. So the one woman calls the justice, the next woman comes with the sword, and then from there it's lights out. That's the Four of Swords, lights out. And then you have basically people, you're faced with more troubles. That's the Five of Swords, with maybe winning a small battle, but then right behind it come the federal agents, and right behind the federal agents comes the King of Swords. The I don't know what that could be. I was going to say something, I might not say it. So yeah, this is a lot of swords energy. Again, this is just how the energy is going to play out. So I would expect to see the justice to be called on some individual, like Sean Puffy Combs, for the things that he has done. The sword just be called down, and then the next thing you know, you just have somebody else. More people are going to be put on timeout, and people are going to think that they're getting away with something, and then the federal agents are going to come in and take those swords, and then the big dog is going to come in, and by big dog I mean military is going to come in and have a word about that. Now, let's look at the second row, because that's even more interesting. You have Pluto at 29 degrees of Capricorn, which is the Queen of Coins, and that's femininity, fertility, and sensuality. Then you have Saturn at 13 degrees of Pisces, which is the Nine of Coins, and that's success, great love, and rewards. And then you have the first of a very bizarre sequence of cards, which is the North Node at 6 degrees of Aries, which is the Fool, and that's beginning, start of a new journey or a literal baby. Then you have Chiron at 21 degrees of Aries, and that's a Queen of Wands, which is pride, femininity, and self-confidence, followed again by the Descendant and the Earth at 22 degrees of Aries with the Fool, and Aries at 24 degrees of Aries with the Queen of Wands. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that, where it's just, that's what normally I would have just combined them all, but it seemed like important to have them separated out because these are two new beginnings, right? Which we're going to see in the last row, but you have each one being protected. So the children who are to be born, the baby, the newborn, the twins, or triplets or quadruplets, perhaps, because it could be a mother with a child or two mothers with two children. I would say two mothers with two children, because on the bottom row we have a Page of Wands and a Page of Cups, which is princess. So there's two children born. These two fools become these two princesses. So I would interpret it as two women with two children. And so you can either be, well, before I get into that, this is a very odd sequence. I've never really seen anything like this. And I put it like this to emphasize the fact that there are two choices. We don't have the Lovers here, which the Lovers is the Gemini card, which is normally the choice between the sacred and the profane and this and that. What we do have in Gemini is Jupiter, which is what expands. So, but anyway, these two births are going to be surrounded by pentacles. So all of this fighting on the top row that's going to be happening has nothing to do with the money or the birth that's going to happen on the second row, which I find to be very, very interesting. Now let's look at this last row. You have the Descendant you have the Moon, which is 24 degrees of Aries, and that's the Four of Wands, which is peace, happiness, and harmony. You have Jupiter at 21 degrees of Gemini, which is the Princess of Wands, and that's adventure, chance, and growth. You have Vesta at 25 degrees of Virgo, and that's the Princess of Cups, and that's opportunity, invitation, and affection. And you have the South Node at 6 degrees of Libra, and that's the Two of Swords in reverse. The Two of Swords in reverse is torn, skepticism, and negative mind. So what's really interesting about this is if I had to choose a point to just reset to, it would be this Queen of Coins and this Pluto. And that's basically, to me, like the Queen of Coins, the Pluto and the Saturn is basically anchoring all of this energy. Like without this Pluto and the Queen of Coins, like literally, you don't get this energy anchored in the proper way. And Pluto and Saturn are basically like back to back. So this is the Queen of Coins, which is the femininity, fertility, and sensuality. And if you lean into the femininity, that's always going to produce the Saturn energy, which is success, great love, and rewards. And because Pluto and Saturn are both very slow moving planets, I do believe they're the two slowest moving up here. Chiron is no. They're the two slowest moving points on this chart, Pluto and Saturn. You can constantly go back to this Pluto energy, go back into this Queen of Coins energy, go back into this Nine of Coins energy, which is tap into your femininity, reap the rewards. Tap into your femininity, reap the rewards. If you're not going to transmute this energy, of course, I suggest we always transmute the energy, because energy that flows is energy that gets multiplied. This energy is not going to multiply. It's going to be very, very stagnant energy, but it is what is typically going to happen to most people who are not transmuting the energy. This is how you're going to see it play out. All right, so let's talk about the I think that's all I want to say. Let's talk about the transmutations. I thought this was fascinating because I'm trying to keep this short, because especially since there's so many placements. So you have the Ascendant, which is the Fool card with the transmutation, which is beginnings, start of a new journey. And you can utilize this through the lens of the 7th house in Aries, which is don't be aggressive when cooperation is required. Listen, most of this, let's see, the Ascendant, Juno, Sun, are all, and also the last card, the South Node, are all in this transmuted into this Aries energy. Please do not be aggressive when cooperation is required. A lot of people are doing things very, very aggressively. Right now, we need to be working together and working with our spirit team, not being aggressive, not being divisive, not starting fights, not wishing for the downfall of other people. We had all of the top half of the chart to do that. Now is the time to cut that stuff out. People should be coming together, which is why I think it's interesting that now you have the Harris campaign announcing that they're going to have a black agenda. This is not the time for that, and I think that hopefully the Trump campaign understands, like, don't promote no black agenda right now. It's too late for that. That should have been done earlier on, and it wasn't. Let's just go with the unity campaign. This is the best way to promote it. I think they have some good astrologers this time, so they're probably going to do it the right way. But or they're just naturally, not going to get involved in more divisiveness. We need to be coming together and focusing. Makes the most. We don't need to at the end of the campaign be trying to now divide out your groups. The reason why the Harris campaign has to do it, because this is the lunation if you talk to any astrologers, listen to any of them, they're saying, well, Jupiter is not crowning the winner, and Pluto, somebody else is not crowning the winner. None of the planets are crowning the winner. You know why? Because the moon is going to crown the winner. That's the reason. The moon is the one. The moon is the one who's going to crown the winner, and so they're looking for the solar placements to get it done, the solar astrology to get it done, and they're not looking at the lunar astrology, and so that's why all of the astrologers are going to be wrong. They're looking at the sun and not at the moon, and the moon is the one who's going to crown the winner. Period. Point blank. End of story. And the person who is working the best with the moon energy right now would be the Trump campaign. I don't know how. I can't tell you how. That is just what I can observe with my own two eyes. They are right in alignment with the lunar cycle. Period. And the Harris campaign is in total lockstep alignment with the solar, and also with Uranus, trying to force Uranus to crown, to make the change that needs to, call it a change, and make this change that needs to be made. This is what they're doing astrologically. Like it or don't like it, it doesn't matter to me. I'm just telling you what is going on. And I'll be the only one probably who is correct of all the astrologers, because they're all going to miss it. They're looking at the solar when we have the lunar, which is actually the one who is in charge of this. Okay, anyway, so a lot of cooperation is required. Don't be aggressive when cooperation is required. That is literally the theme of this lunation. This is the theme of the next year of lunations for transmuting the energy. I would say always just put the aggression to the side for the next year. That's my suggestion. That's what I'll be doing. Okay. The next placement is Juno, and that's the Queen of Wands, and that's pride, femininity, and self-confidence, and that's through the lens also through the 7th house in Aries, which is don't be aggressive when cooperation is required. Again, don't be aggressive when cooperation is required. We have to be working together with our spirit team. It's required. Okay. The next placement we have is the Sun. That's the 4 of Wands, and that's peace, happiness, and harmony. And again, don't be aggressive when cooperation is required. So you have the Fool, you have the Queen of Wands, you have the 4 of Wands. These are all very good cards. Happiness, joy, pride, femininity, beginnings. These are all really, really good, but you can only get them if you're not aggressive. If you're in aggressive stance right now, you are not going to be able to get this new beginning. It requires you to be humble, in the face of this adversity. Okay. And the next placement we have is Mercury, and that's the 5 of Wands, and that's strength, competition, and conflict through the lens of the 8th house in Taurus, which is make compromises, be flexible, and merge values. Again, just like I said, now is not the time to be announcing a black man agenda to send out people to criticize the black man. This is the wrong time to do that. This is the time to make compromises, to be flexible, and to merge values. Everybody should be coming together to about what is important for the betterment of all. And so if you have spiritualists out here telling you to only worry about yourself, that is the wrong answer. That is not even the energy for this lunation. You're going to be out of alignment for the whole year of full moons. The whole year. And that is exactly what I see happening. People are deliberately placing individuals out of alignment for the whole year of full moons. Okay? You will have to wait until the Aries full moon next year to get back into alignment with this energy. And if that's your choice, more power to you, but I pray you make a better choice. The next placement is Venus, which is the Seven of Wands, and that's victory, hope, and defense through the lens of the 8th house in Taurus, which is make compromises, be flexible, and merge values. So again, the strength, competition, and conflict, the victory, the hope, and defense, these are opposite energies, right? But they all come together under making compromises between the strength and the victory, between the competition and the hope, between the conflict and the defense. You're merging your values to strength through victory, hope through competition, defense through conflict, or conflict through defense, or resolving conflict with defense. Like, I mean, I could quote, I'm not. So this is the energy that is coming in to be transmuted. Again, there's only one campaign using language like this, and the other one has gone in the way of the solar energy, you know. And this is all about the election. Like, Elder Almond in his video 2 years ago said we would not have another election until the queen returned to her throne. What is that? That is the moon. That is the daughter of Zion in alignment with the solar and the lunar energy and the lunar cycles. That's literally what it is. And some of us have been working on that. And me specifically, I have been working on it very, very in depth, and I can wrap it all together. And so that's what this that's what the queen commands, that we use the solar energy, the solar cycle, the lunar cycle, the solar cycle, the lunar yearly cycle, and the lunar monthly cycles. We cannot just operate. We exist within the context. I get to say it. We exist within the context. It's just the context that they want us to exist within is not the context that we do. We exist within the context of the solar cycle, the lunar cycle, and the solar progressions, the lunar progressions, and the lunar cycle. Okay? And just to emphasize who's going to be securing this, we have Pallas Athena, which is the King of Wands, and that's security, warmth, and strength through the lens of the 9th house in Gemini, which is learn how to properly use words and wisdom. Wouldn't it be great for the people who want strength, competition, and conflicts, and the people who want victory, hope, and defense, learn how to use their words and wisdom? That's what we have. We have an enlightened king. Why do I say that? Because we have Juno, which is related to, I didn't read this on the first one. But y'all have to do some research or listen to my daily reports to hear about the planets. Juno is related to partnership, commitment, and relationships. And Pallas is related to Athena, where I have it, wisdom, strategy, and integration of masculine and feminine. So you literally have relationships and the integration of masculine and feminine on opposite ends, but both the masculine and the feminine have decided to work together. That's why you have to use the solar progressions, the lunar progressions, and the child, which is the lunar cycle, the 28-day cycle. You have a solar cycle that's a year, you have a lunar cycle that's a year, and you have the child, which is the 28-day cycle. And then there's a masculine child and a feminine child, which was our months on one hand. That's the solar calendar, the months. And then you have the 28-day calendar on the other hand. So you have to use all, you have to be able to bounce back and around between all of them. That's what we have to do. All right. And that's how your new beginning is going to be protected, with the baby being born into this wisdom, this compromises, this flexible, this merging of values. You know, everybody's cooperating to birth this child. Let's put it that way. The masculine and the feminine energy, the solar cycle or the solar progressions and the lunar progressions are cooperating to birth this child, which is the lunar 28-day cycle and also the lunar the solar 30-day cycle. There or a 30-degree cycle. We have a 30-degree cycle and we have a 28-day cycle. These are all working together to birth this child. The next placement we have is Pluto, and that's the Queen of Cups, and that's empathy, sacrifice, and patience through the lens of the 10th house in Cancer, which is to follow your emotions, be compassionate, and forgive. Again, we have everything is about working together, being open to the emotions and not closing your heart off, being involved in as much love as possible. Like, this is really, really important for this lunation. The next placement we have is Saturn, which is the 9 of Cups, and that's dreams, enjoyment, and happiness through the lens of the 12th house in Virgo, which is to pay attention to details while remaining compassionate and sensitive. So, this is how you would care for a child. And we only have one fool. See, in the other one, we had two fools, right? There were two babies. If you transmute the energy, all the energy will be focused on you, taking care of you. If you don't transmute the energy, I get it. If you don't transmute the energy, your masculine and your feminine energy will be further divided. If you transmute the energy, it's all going to be focused on you as a single unit, the yin and the yang together. The instead of this disjointed energy which hasn't come to its fullness. So if you don't transmute the energy, that means you haven't come to your fullness, and you're still in the process of development. But if you do transmute the energy, you have come to your fullness. You're ready for integration of your masculine and feminine elements, and that's what will happen during this lunation. The new you being born is the you that is integrated, the masculine and the feminine energy. All praises to the Most High, man. All right, so the North Node is going to be the Wheel of Fortune, which is good fortune, karma, or dharma, and luck. And that's through the lens of the 11th house in Libra, which is find yourself in others and look for your balance. So again, because you have integrated the energy on the inside, instead of, this back and forth of a division of taking care of your masculine side, your feminine side separately, you can get the karma or the dharma, the good luck that comes with being a whole and complete person, because you see in every person you come into, male or female, black, white, orange, green, yellow, from America or from overseas, you see you're part of yourself in that person. And that's what we need to come to a position of wholeness and completeness. We have Chiron, which is the Queen of Swords, next, and that's confident, willing to learn, and equality through the lens of the first house in Libra, which is to find yourself in others and look for your balance. Again, more finding your, and then we have a lot of these actually. Find yourself in others and look for your balance. I think 5 of these placements where you're literally just finding yourself in others. And what does that require? You see 2 Queen of Swords here. It's not the same. In the other one was 2 Fools and 2 Queen of Wands. You have 2 Queen of Swords here and a Justice, which is different. When you have a wheel, let me read through all of them first. Next, you have Justice, which is the Earth and Descendants, and that's balance, law, harmony, and fairness through the lens of first house in Libra, which is find yourself in others and look for your balance. So basically, you have the karma coming in, and then you have the You have the dharma, the good luck coming in, and you have the karma being cut off, and then you have the justice coming in, and you have the unfair things being cut off, as opposed to just trying to correct a mess. You have things that need to be removed, that finally need to be over, cycles that have ended being ended. Also, the two swords remind me of the cutting of the umbilical cord, whereas in the other one you have wands, which is could be whoredom, like the saint we discussed for that's over this lunation. It could be, you know, one egg being impregnated by one wand, another egg being impregnated by another wand, like this whoredom that just goes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Whereas here you have a cut. The Queen of Swords does the cut, the umbilical cord is cut, the placenta is cut, everything is cut, everything is good, because the things that need to be, the good karma has come in, a nice, safe, healthy delivery of you as a whole and complete person, and the justice for that whole and complete person has come in. Everything works out in the way that it's supposed to. After that, you have the moon energy, which is the four swords, and that's rest, relaxation, and to be patient, but through the lens of the first house in Libra as well, which is find yourself in others and look for your balance. So again, you get to rest and relax, and therefore you will be looking for ways to help other people rest and relax. We all need to have less, what is that, stimulation right now. We need to be less stimulated, and I do believe you will see less of the external stimulation and more of the internal stimulation for the people around you if you lower your lessen your what did I just say? If you look for what you need in others, when you lessen your separation of yourself and you integrate all of these things into one whole and complete person. I don't think that's what I was going to say, but that's all I can remember. Next up, we have our Jupiter, which is the Page of Swords, and that's clever, new experience, adventure through the lens of the third house in Sagittarius, which is to be optimistic and always see the bright side of life. And then we have Vesta, which is the Princess of Coins, and that's ambition, diligence, and desire through the lens of the sixth house in Pisces, which is be patient, wise, and be patient and wise, follow your own path, and stop worrying about a schedule. So this is basic. Oh my gosh, this is the Page of Coin, the Princess of Coins. So basically, this new you that's born will have two distinct sides. One side will be seeking adventure, seeking new experiences, traveling, and the other side of you will be making money without a schedule. This is what you'll be birthing: a new inner masculine and a new inner feminine that's in alignment with earning income and traveling without limits. That's what you're birthing. A you who is able to exist within the context without limits. A limitless new life. That's what you're be birthing. These new distinct parts of yourself. The last placement we have is this Two of Wands in reverse. And that's indifference, listlessness, inner conflict through the lens of the first house in Libra, or seventh house in Aries. I'm sorry. Don't be aggressive when cooperation is required. And basically, to me, this sounds like if you don't want to fight against this new beginning. It's going to be really easy to fight against it, but really you will allow the angels to bring you the new life that you need and that you desire. That's what it looks like to me. So if you enjoy this type of astrological content, join us for our daily transmutation reports, which come out every day on my channel on YouTube. Sophia Spiritualite is my handle. We also have a calendar that goes along with that, which is on the Patreon. And so if you're interested in any of that, the link is in the bio. Of course, if you'd like to have access to the longer form of this video, 2 videos this time because the information was so in-depth, please join us on our AmaruKhan Lunar working group, and the link is in the bio for that. totally free. Thank you for joining us for this astroturography Aries full moon report. Peace and blessings, and we'll see you in the next video.